for some peace of mind. But TikTok said a gator drove a Jeep through the blinds. Florida man's at it again with fireworks and a goat. And someone married a ghost in a Dollar Tree coat. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is going on? Aliens dancing in a Waffle House song. Karen's got a taser in the checkout line. And Dr. Oz just adopted birds to fight off crime. Oh, I'm just sitting here scrolling, my jaw on the floor. The internet's a circus and I can't take no more. Yeah, when it's wildin', there's a raccoon in the sink. Someone robbed a Wendy's just to steal a frosty drink. A pastor's gone viral yelling about the end is near, while folks ride hoverboards in wedding gear. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave. I'm just...
Good morning, everyone. It's Miss Frazzle. Also, girls in the chat, I try to do those Velcro hair curler things that you use the dryer on. What in the Country Music Awards is going on here? Oh yeah, I probably should eat. Mr. Mo is reminding me. Yeah, it's morning. This is what it's like to have a wife with like time blindness and ADHD and all the things, because he'll be like, so what'd you eat yesterday? And I'll be like, you know, have I told you how handsome you look today? And he's like, answer the question. And I'm like, again, can't I just ogle your body? So then I have to drink a protein shake, which is yucky. But yeah, I'm trying to be better. I just, this last week for some reason, and you would think that getting all warm, so what did I eat? I ate a piece of pizza because he went to Sam's Club. So I did eat that. And then I had 2 protein shakes and some other stuff. So what I tend to do, like, I also took down half a box of Golden Crisp. Not gonna lie, I don't consider myself a hunter of many things, but if you're a box of cereal, I can take down like an entire box by myself. As I said, I am working on eating better. I do have the I have the eating tendencies of a toddler. I really, really do. 90% of my diet is pizza. I am not gonna lie to you guys. Don't do what I do. Do not listen to me. There's just this particular pizza that I really like. So Mr. Mo will get like 12 of them when he runs out to Walmart. And I'll have I'll have it for like breakfast and lunch because it's like its own mini pizza. And I will say that as I have lost weight, it's been harder for me to gauge how hungry I am, if that makes any sense. Again, it's just learning, uh, you know, the different cues from my body and having higher pain. Sometimes I want to eat it, my feelings with higher pain, and then sometimes meh. So UK, Anton, we are going to start looking at that particular case during Verdict Watch. Now, whether we do that for today, because the way the judge was talking, it seemed like we were going to have a lot of stuff to do today that actually Verdict Watch won't actually start until much, much later. And Tammy, uh, I will probably get with you later this week to let you know when I'm shipping out the tens unit. I'm just going to be honest with you. I am dreading having to go pick up the boys. And it's not that I don't, it's not the, change in schedule or anything. It's just like having to get out of my comfy chair and go out. Also, can we pick a season? Can we please pick a season? Because I would just like, I would like to know what season we're in. So that's kind of where we are this morning. Actually, this morning feels I that's the hard thing for me. Like, I have everything. Mr. Mo and I have invested so much time in getting this craft desk ready and ready to, go. And the reality of my life right now is that it'd probably be more functional. And we have been looking at this because Mr. Mo and I wanted to do some Legos. So there are some really nice over the bed desks. So we're looking and we're actually going to measure this time. So we are looking for that, and that is what we're going to do. So I've got all the materials ready to go, and it's so I can definitely, do my Legos and stuff and be in my bed. Ooh, it's going to be Legos in bed with Mo. As fun as that sounds, I had a dream one night and I had to tell Mr. Mo. So, of course, I called him because he lives upstairs and I live downstairs. And like hell, I'm going to take these legs and try to go upstairs. But anywho, I I called Mr. Mo and I was like, you know how I keep joking that I'm going to run for president? And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I had this terrible dream that where I was in front of Congress and I kinda had spazzed out and just ended up repeatedly saying, like, 'Look, yes, I'm a streamer, but with my clothes on. I swear to God, I keep my clothes on.'" And 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 it and it was like, oh gosh, all of the old senators that are like, "Sure, we believe you." And I'm like, "Look, you should believe me. I, like you, can only work a jitterbug phone. You should feel seen by me. I too struggle with technology. I don't have an OnlyFans." Now, I did kinda start out a little more funny because, unfortunately, there are some not so good headlines that are coming out today, especially from our, well, neighbor to the north, and as much as we rib Canada and Canada ribs us right back, let's just split the difference and say we both have had leaders that we're not proud of, okay? Can we bridge the divide and just do that? Uh, that being said, it does appear that British Columbia did have an active shooting situation at a high school, and I don't think there's any room for moral superiority or anything like that or making this political. Let's make sure that all of the children and staff and everyone who is involved is getting the care and support they need before we start, throwing stupid political stuff out. I mean, I doubt this will happen current timeline, but it'd be nice. A shooter took the lives of at least 9 people and has dudger or oh, for God's sake, English, read it. My first and only language, and yet no. Well, you are near Lake Superior, right? Or look, I was really good at geography in 4th grade, but I don't remember clearly what I remembered in 4th grade. So there were dozens of injuries as well. Now, do be mindful that these numbers are likely to change because this was published at it looks like 9 o'clock yesterday. So there might be more information. So do be mindful that these numbers are subject to change. Now, it does seem like this happened at both a secondary school and a residence in Canada before the shooter took their own life. Now, 8 people were found dead, including the attacker, inside Tumbler Ridge Secondary School in British Columbia, as well as at 2 at a connected residence. Now, the shooter is believed to have been a woman and appeared to have self-deleted at the scene. Now, a total of 27 were wounded, with 2 people sustaining life-threatening injuries. Now, the attacker has not yet been named, and the motive remains unclear. Now, they did use their. I don't know if that's a pronoun choice or simply grammatically correct. So, and it is weird to be in a timeline where I don't know if it's just grammatically correct or an identity. I never thought I'd be in this timeline. Now, they were described it sounds like it is a pronoun thing the way that the person was described as a female in a dress with brown hair, according to an emergency alert sent to phones. Now, as police searched the school, they found 6 people that were no longer alive. A seventh person with a wound unfortunately passed away en route to the hospital. Now, school children had barricaded their classroom doors with tables as they hid from the shooter. Darren Quist, a grade 12 student, said he was in a mechanics class when an urgent lockdown alarm sounded in the hallways, instructing them to close the doors. Now, that was one of the questions I was going to ask, one of my Canadian viewers, because I don't want to assume that Canada maybe has the same school safety protocols that America does. Um, but I also don't want to assume that, nothing like this ever happens in Canada. So I guess I was a little bit shocked as an American to learn that, there were also protocols in Canada. Again, just more on a dumb American surface level, I guess I didn't think I do have that, coming up. Okay, well, I have learned to always be humble and assume I don't understand different places just because I think that, you know, basically, I don't know what I don't know, and I'm okay with that, and I'm okay asking questions. Now, they say that at least 10 people have lost their lives, but again, with some of the life-threatening injuries, at least with 2, these numbers might change. Now, it seems that, the Tumbler Ridge School was here, and then there was also a home involved, so I would say, again, listen to media, and press conferences and be mindful that there might be differences in what the media in Canada can report versus, what media in America can report. There are different, I think, legal protections for, uh, victims and witnesses and even the suspect, so do be mindful. Again, I'm not super smart, but I do know that there are different obligations that the media faces when they report on a case that is still under investigation, regardless of if this goes on to a further trial. And I would, if you want to learn more about this, definitely look for Canadian creators who are close to the area who have more of an idea of what life is like there. I always find it much more informative if I go to people that are either Canadian or have a general understanding of what life is like in the area rather than people that are just reading headlines. But that's just my 2 cents. Now, it does seem like, there has been, at least some trouble or some history of outbursts and kind of behavioral problems at the school. However, um, they're really not giving out much information. Again, there might be differences in what they are allowed to publish, but if you want to know more, Super T, I am going that's the next story I have. The gentleman who was detained, was let go. So that's all I know for right now. What I will say is definitely keep if you are of the, praying or good vibes into the universe or any sort of variety, do keep the town, the teachers, the students, and the victims in your prayers. I do hope that everyone could take a collective breath, keep their heads firmly out of their behinds, and maybe allow the families to grieve just a little bit before we decide to make this political. But it's current year, so that hope is probably not going to happen. But I wish it would happen just once. Now, Savannah Guthrie's missing mother live updates. So they the big news last night was, and into the evening and last night was the release of this sort of odd, security camera images. Now, what was interesting is that until the FBI kinda came on the scene, I'm trying to go back to until the FBI kind of came back on the scene, uh, the local police were under the impression that they were not able to get any sort of video evidence from any of the security cameras because there was not a subscription made. Now, I do find it mildly horrifying that the FBI can get information from your home security system even if you don't have a subscription. Now, I I want Nancy Guthrie found, but I do think that that is a terrifying implication of the far-reaching it's weird enough that we are making, ourselves Big Brother, but the reach that the federal government has into our own willingly given data is just I don't wanna go full Rusty Shackelford, but damn, current timeline is making Dale Gribble sound like a genius. Now, after the release of this camera footage with everyone rushing to break down, body language, what's going on, who, is this person maybe Hispanic, white, what's there's been a lot of conjecture. Now, it did seem like there was some forward momentum when we kind of got the information that there had been an individual detained for questioning in connection with Nancy Guthrie's uh, abduction. Now, that was about 11 hours ago, and it was big news everywhere, everyone rushing to break down who this could possibly be, what connection they had with any of the Guthries, the siblings, Savannah, anything like that. Well, after I did wake up this morning because I did want to see, how things were going. And this morning, the big headline is that they released the person of interest. They couldn't hold him any longer. There have been sort of allegations from this gentleman's mother-in-law that he was kind of unfairly targeted. A woman who lives in Rio Rico, the home that was being searched by the authorities in connection with the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, said that her son-in-law had been detained at a traffic stop yesterday. The seemingly confused woman, who was not identified by name, told local ABC News reporter that investigators keep going in and out of my house taking pictures, and I don't know why. According to a clip that was posted on X, they showed me a video to see if it was him, to see if I recognized the thing he was wearing, and he doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have anything that comes in that video, she said of the surveillance footage that was shown outside the missing 84-year-old's home. Now, when asked if the person in the footage looked like her son-in-law, the resident replied, "No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like him at all." Now, she did add that her son-in-law hadn't been in any trouble since he was underage. Now, he has been released. So again, that is kind of the latest. Now, there's been a lot of scuttlebutt going around that, certain siblings might be involved. And I think with the FBI now involved, they are much more equipped to do a thorough investigation with digital forensics with search warrants and things like that of people close to Nancy. I think they have more people that can look at the digital data. So I think that we're going to see more forward movement. I just don't think that unfortunately, I wish that we could say that this was going to be a happy ending. I don't foresee Miss Guthrie being still alive. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, but if I'm going with all of the evidence and not what I hope happens, it does not seem as hopeful. And that ring video was terrifying. Um, just very and welcome, Squid. Welcome, welcome. There was something very off about it, but as I haven't been keeping up with everything, like, minute by minute, it is kind of hard for me to say, "Oh," and here's my whole philosophy on these breaking things. We have seen it before that in the with the best of intentions, and I truly believe with the best of intentions, the internet, you know, for justice, for, you know, lack of anything, actually substantive to do, they pick apart theories and, accuse different people. And we've seen it. We've seen, the true crime sleuths, most, ridiculously, that tarotologist who, accused a professor in the Idaho case. But we've seen that these unsubstantiated allegations can ruin people's lives. There there is a certain responsibility. There are very valid and legitimate reasons that I don't kind of get into that stuff because I want facts and evidence. I don't wanna be part of a pitchfork mob. Now, I think it's totally okay to, you know speculation station is fun, is when people start, reaching out to the family members, threatening them, making allegations that may not be substantive in court. Again, there are always as a defense attorney, as a defendant, you are always playing in multiple courts. You have the, court of law, you have the court of public opinion, you have the fact that there are more media attention. If your case happens to be, quite salacious or anything, there are whole new layers that are going to be brought into this that I think really need to be examined. And I don't know the Guthrie family. I don't know if you dissected half the jokes I make about my mom on my stream, you'd assume that, you know, if you look at all the, sum total of, like, the things I've joked about my mom about, it might look like we have a, ridiculous relationship. We don't. But if you boil everything down to people's bank accounts and things like that, then we do rush to judgment, and our whole basis, I get the emotional pull, but that's the thing about foundational principles. You hold fast to them no matter how. Y'all don't think I wanna take Paul and launch him into the center of the GD Sun, which vote for me because I'll make that shit legal. I'll be like, "Geneva who?" I'll just say, "Look, in the great, uh, you know, tradition of Canadians and, that." So, again, it people are and that's why, honestly, I did tell you guys we were gonna be double the squirrels today. That's honestly why I decided to speed forward through most of Katie's testimony, what was it, Monday, because I know I could not be nice to that woman. I could not give her the basic respect that under everything, she at some point in her life is going to have to marry the father that she knew with the actions that she now knows. And I couldn't imagine having to deal with that. I don't like dealing with feelings, so I try to be, kinder. Now, I don't like when you have an attitude, so I would call her on those things, but just my general annoyance at her behavior, I was trying to be nice to her. Now, I do think that the defense did not do their client or Katie any favors, because if you come to realize that you kept what you considered to be, possible exonerating evidence, that could help your father get out of jail quiet for 7 years because you hated the state, it doesn't look good for, you saying that you were a daddy's girl. Like, you do realize that those 2 things kind of do not actually compute. Also, at the same moment, multiple things can be true at the same moment. The other thing that is true is that, again, you had what you thought was very compelling evidence that you had a different lead on who might have committed a quadruple homicide in your family. And then you kept that because the police station didn't share with you like an emotional support jackass. It really does boggle the mind because on the surface, it doesn't sound that bad, but if you sit down and you logic it out, it's like, "Defense, what would you say you do here?" So that's kind of where we are with the Savannah Guthrie case. I would foresee in the next day or so if there is more information, that the FBI can share, because I do think that the FBI is very aware of how much this case is getting attention. I think they will start to clarify some things, and if they are able to clear any immediate family members, that might become known, and or if there are it might take a while is all I'm saying. They've got to download phones. I don't know how long that magically takes. They've got to look through bank records. Again, the investigation against Paul took a long time because there was that financial aspect, and if that is a potential motivation or motivating factor, then that's gonna take some more in-depth investigation. So, I do foresee that if when the FBI has a more coherent kind of bead on what kind of case this is going to be, I think they will give out more information. I'm hoping maybe. Well, I have not been paying attention to the Olympics other than once or twice, for, like, obviously the figure skating. I still don't understand curling. I really don't. I have tried. It in all fairness, in reality, in actual factual reality, let's be real. Curling is probably gonna be the only sport that I could even attempt to medal in the Olympics, okay? Unless they have, like, rapid sarcasm, sprints. I don't think I'm ever gonna go to the Olympics. There's never gonna be, like, a Cool Runnings Mo edition, like, "Oh, no, I know you can't believe the cripples, we have a bobsled team." I just don't. Yes, I know there's a Paralympics, and yes, I have a cripple pass, so I can say it. Um, I'm just saying, curling is probably gonna be my only shot at gold, and I would still fall asleep. If Again, if they have a competitive sarcasm event ever sew up, I am there, I am helping you, we're taking the gold for America. But in the world of male figure skating, yeah, I said it. Um, this guy did a backflip. Now apparently they're not illegal anymore. Who was the guy that did it? Scott Hamilton? No, that doesn't sound right. Because it wasn't it Linda Hamilton? Was a Look, I'm not a sportsologist, although, if this is supposed to be because y'all, can we talk about how hilarious the commentators are for skating? It's like, yes, well, I was talking to what's his face before the thing or before the short program, and he was telling me that it's about personal struggle and the growth and journey. I'm like, and I was just wondering how many warriors bedazzled their outfits beforehand. So this is why I would like to volunteer as tribute for the next look. Who doesn't wanna watch the Olympics where Mo, commentates? Come on. I mean, we had Snoop Dogg and Mo. We're gonna be the new, Snoop and Martha. She's gonna be, Martha on the Heartha and Snoop on a stoop, and Mo is not a hoe with the Expand-A-Pack, kids. have to have someone else come up with an alliteration. Mo not on a pole, but with expanded breeder pack. Anywho, that happened. I'm guessing yay America? No idea. Welcome to Mo with ADHD. Now, I don't know why I keep having to make the same GD public service announcement. So maybe, just maybe, for any gross-tastic teacher, be you female or male, maybe if I'm dressed up as Miss Frizzle, you will kindly understand, stay the hell away from our children, in the sense that we don't want you Snapchatting them, we don't want you talking to them. You are supposed to be their teacher. There was a time in this country, where when you ran into your teacher outside of school, you were trying to figure out how they escaped the school because you were so unaware that your teacher had a life outside of being an educator that you were quite certain that they had escaped their bonds like Saul, like they had, cut off their own foot to escape the school just to go to the Target, okay? So I'm gonna need you to live your own lives, stay the hell away from the children for dating of any sort. Keep your social media away from their social media. And if you want to teach, new rule, we get random checks of your cell phone. Yes, I understand it's a, violation of your Fourth Amendment. We can talk about that. But I think that, with the social contract of you not being a PDF file and the fact that we can no longer trust you MFers, especially you blondes that are just out of college for some damn reason, we get CC'd on every single, we are like the enclave. We are like the effing end of, oh gosh, Rise of the Dark Knight, where we've got all y'all's information, okay? You know, I didn't like the, Ed Snowden stuff, but at this point, we have less trust. The big old joke about Catholic priests, no. We have our issues. As a former Catholic, I will fully admit that, but you want to talk about something even bigger, even grosser? It's the public education system. How many teachers have been tenured and moved from school to school to school just because the unions were protecting them? A hell of a lot more than, priests. Two things can be bad at the same time. So, another one for Lord Chippy.
They're our skin, they steal our grace. These monsters wear a human face. No gavel, no badge, no throne, no crown can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
I'm telling y'all, I am telling y'all, I cannot. And well, now let's see here, because a Louisiana teacher was arrested after a mother went through her daughter's cell phone and discovered alleged, romantic, abusive, abusive relationship. Let's be real. A New Orleans teacher is facing criminal charges after police allege that she engaged in an abusive relationship with a student, prompting her arrest and termination from her position at an all-girls private school. Now, Teddy Page, 29, a former biology teacher at the Academy of the Sacred Heart, was arrested Thursday. By the way, ma'am, way to take that whole all-female school and, female teacher, stereotype right out the water. Did you drive your Subaru there in a pair of Birkenstocks? Did you give signs? Now, she has been charged with prohibited gross conduct between educator and student, according to local Louisiana news. Now, court records cited by outlets do show a charge is a misdemeanor under Louisiana state law. Louisiana, could we do something about that? Now, the investigation began after the 18-year-old student's mother reported the alleged relationship to school officials. The Times-Picayune reported that the mother discovered the relationship after going through an old phone that was still logged into her daughter's social media accounts. I know it's just that here's the thing, Squid. I love wearing flannel. I love my Birkenstocks. But if I have a messy bun, I look one Subaru away from a Lilith fair, and I just don't like the implications for myself. I'm like, "Look, I just didn't feel like putting on makeup, all right?" Now, Page did appear in court on February the 6th, per the outlet, where a judge set her bond at $15,000. Now, in a statement published by the local news, the Academy of the Sacred Heart said it took the allegations seriously and acted immediately. Now, when our school became aware of a recent concern about one of our employees, we took the matter very seriously and immediately followed our safety protocols, which are, oh shit, not again, and thank God it wasn't a priest this time. I'm just kidding. I'm sure that wasn't their first thing. They called the diocese first, allegedly in Minecraft. The employee was escorted off the campus and she was terminated. We then referred the matter to the New Orleans Police Department. Now, the school said that all employees are required to undergo background checks and provide references prior to being hired, adding that Paige's background check and references didn't raise concerns at the time of her employment. Now, according to the statement, the school is now supporting the student and her family and providing counseling resources for students affected by the situation. Now, it does seem with that there might be more students that are affected, and before more charges are brought, because it does seem with what the school is saying but not saying, there might be more children involved in this. And I hope not. I hope that, and look, I don't have a problem with, it's not about the same sex issue. I don't have that problem. If they were both of age, both lesbians wanted to go lesbian away, wonderful. I don't care. This is a child. No. No. Also, please don't clip go lesbian away. Things that, like, I have really good policies, but my mouth will get me in trouble. My presidency will be nothing but another social gaffe from the president today. It wasn't dishonest, it's just not what you would say in polite company. Well, now to the stories that'll make you wonder, are we in the end times or are we in the best timeline ever? These final form Jesus stories are kind of, well, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So, I don't know, some are pretty interesting and some are pretty, oh my God, what is wrong with humanity? So, it's a nice mix.
The key keep its grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack listening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
I joked about this. I legitimately didn't think that anyone was actually making iguana tacos. But if you were unaware, iguanas are invasive species in Florida, and due to the cold snap earlier last week, a bunch of them just kind of fell out of the trees, which my son would probably think is hilarious. But apparently one guy is making tacos of all the iguanas. Even for Florida, this is a bit much. And I don't know why, because I live in Indiana. People eat deer meat, venison's a big thing here, so I don't know why it's the iguana that I y if you didn't tell me it was iguana, I'd eat it. If I knew it was iguana, I'm not eating it. Look, I'm like, I enjoy your, culinary bravery. I would like to know if there are any chicken fingers on the menu, please. This Florida man is giving social media something to, well, taco about. TikTok creator Gray Davis has gone viral with a series of videos documenting the raining iguanas phenomenon in Florida and then, well, eating them. When the Sunshine State experiences a unusually cold winter, the cold-blooded reptiles can wind down their systems to conserve energy, almost literally freezing up in the process. As they stiffen, the iguana popsicles will tumble from their perch and land on the ground. While they may look dead, the iguanas are basically alive and will literally thaw back to normal once the weather warms. Now, despite the good news, they're okay. Green iguanas are also considered an invasive species in South Florida, and thanks to the unseasonably cold weather, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission temporarily allowed residents to remove and dispose of the cold stunned iguanas without a permit. The fact that Florida generally has a permit for this, like, like you're going down to the Rural King in Florida, and you're like, "I would like my iguana hunting, permit." Of all the dangerous creatures that kind of slightly creep me out, iguana hunting would probably be my speed. Like, instead of the python hunter and the gator hunter, I'd be like, "Would you like to look at these really frozen iguanas with me? I'm not gonna hunt them or anything, I'll just, like, poke them with a stick." And then, knit them little hats, put them in an outfit, and give them to other people. Now, year-round, the species can be captured and humanely unalived without a permit or hunting license on 32 public lands in South Florida. But rather than disposing of the animal, Davis has taken a different approach. Whether or whenever we have these cold fronts and they start falling down, a lot of people will go out and collect them to help control the number in the population. But they have a nickname, the chicken of the tree, because they're absolutely delicious. So rather than let this one go to waste, we're going to make tacos. Interesting. Again, if it's your jam, yay for you, and it looks like you have enough for a small purse. So I don't know if iguana skin is gonna be the new bougie thing. I know less about fashion than a 12-year-old. So there you go. Chicken of the trees. You know what you need to do? Oh my god. Okay, invasive problem. We start canning this. We get Jessica Simpson to be the spokesperson for the chicken of the trees, because she's like, "No, I wasn't wrong. I was just ahead of the time of my times because of the whole chicken of the seas." I have a Jessica Simpson, call me. Okay, well, actually, like, can you call Mr. Mo? Because you seem a whole lot too perky. And I don't really have an assistant, but Mr. Mo's a people person, so, um, call him and then we'll negotiate without talking to each other, like email, okay? It's not that I don't like you or don't respect you, it's just you seem like a whole lot to deal with in person, and I say that as like a in with all the love and respect of an inside cat who just thinks you look like a whole hell of trouble. And look, sweetheart, it is better for you and your ego that you don't meet me because I am allergic to stupid and they don't have an EpiPen for it. And if my mouth doesn't say it, my face is gonna. So for your ego, I implore you, talk to Mr. Mo, email me. But chicken of the trees, think about it. Have you had your, iguana salad? Oh my gosh, it's the pre-Lenten treat. Oh wait, Catholics, actual practicing Catholics. How are we falling down on the iguana as far as Lent? 'Cause I think we've got it. So, I'm just saying, instead of tuna casserole, we're having iguana casserole because it's Lent. Honestly, I'd probably have the iguana before I have tuna casserole ever again in my life. Catholicism, you're wondering why people are fleeing. It's tuna casserole. That's why. At least that was my opinion. The Pope is gonna be like, "What the hell is this heifer saying?" And I'm gonna be like, "I said what I said." Well, proof that I am not the only one that small woodland creatures hate. Apparently, a squirrel chewed through electrical wires, sparking an inferno that destroyed a Florida family's home. They are having to start over from scratch. Again, sir or ma'am, I don't know what you did in a past life, but we were kind to the critters around us, and they just hate us. A pesky squirrel turned a Florida family's life upside down after the critter chewed through the electrical wiring, sparking a fire that left their home, well, completely charred. Donnie Banta and Stacy Davis were sleeping with their children and pets inside their Panama City home on January 31st when a strange noise and burning smell from the attic jolted them awake. We were all asleep and we heard a breaker flip in the back. I got up to see what the noise was, heard rustling in the attic, and could smell electrical, odor. Yeah, but they need to be doing this in New York. Why are we punishing the people who moved from New York to Florida? Oh my God, it's the ghost of Peanut. He traveled with all the New Yorkers that fled. So, on the good news, everyone was able to get out safely before the entire house was consumed, but it it had to have been scary. They do have a GoFundMe up. I do hope that they are able to get, local help. There are a lot of people and agencies and churches and things that if you put out there, "Hey, I need something, there's been a fire," you'd be amazed at all the, stuff that, people are willing to donate. I mean, it might not be your taste, but we had a house fire in our neighborhood, and I was pulling stuff out. I said, "Hey, I know it's probably not to everyone's taste, but if you need something, take whatever you need." That's just You'll find that more people, as much as headlines try to divide us, as much as, you know, this, that, and the other, stands between us, and so many outside things on our, covers could be different. For the most part, I have found that 87% of people are just nice people who wanna be left alone, but if you need something, genuinely need something, they will help you out in a heartbeat. Now the rest are cynical assholes, and unfortunately, life doesn't come with, like, a ID, but when something happens, you'll find that there's a lot more good people than bad people, in my experience. Now, in possibly the most amazing thing, and I have never wanted implants before in my entire life, but if y'all don't think I wouldn't be playing Knight Rider if I found out that my implants lit up, like, I would be amazed. If I Do you click it twice? Is it like the clapper? Does it rotate through colors? I don't You learn something new every day. A TikTok user named Savan Tayer displayed a cool discovery about her implants in a video posted on January 24th. On a serious note, this is why aliens don't come here. I mean, Imma be honest, this is why Glip Glorp will never give us eternal life. Now, holding her phone's flashlight up, Taylor then placed the light. Okay, well, then you're putting your light. That's I thought that there was a LED light in her boob. No, ma'am, you want me you wanna hear something? Yeah, you know, when you're pregnant, very heavily pregnant, you can shine a light on your belly, and, sometimes, depending on how incredibly pregnant you are, the baby will react to the light. Now, no, so basically she just put a phone she I thought she had, like, headlights installed. No, she just did this and then pulled her boob flap up and then put the light under the boob flap. I mean, I thought that maybe we were seeing the, future evolution of I thought maybe she was the first mutant. I mean, it's not particularly the mutant power that I would hope to have, but light up boobs, I mean, hell, it's a hell of an icebreaker. If you're socially anxious, I mean, light up boobs is a talking point, and then you never really have to have a conversation with us. Venomous venoms, Mo, after seeing some on this planet, that have made their voices heard and their faces seen, yes. I mean, that might be helpful for my husband. He just comes in, sees my boobs, he's like, "Red, I'm outta here. I'm just gonna throw in a Hershey bar." Oh, crying. Oh, this'll be fun. I mean, honest to God, it might help me too, because 'cause I'll be like, "Oh, apparently I'm upset. I wonder what I'm upset about. Let me think." I mean, at this point, run, Mo's red. Yes. So, there you go. I mean, that was a letdown. Talk about a boob tease. I mean, here I thought she had bionic boobs, and no, she just for reasons known only to her and God, I hope Jesus, she decided to put her flashlight on her boob. Now, I missed this anniversary, and I could not let another day go by without celebrating the history of the greatest Zoom, lawyer ever, and the greatest Zoom court hearing to have ever graced the digital hallways of Zoom.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings.
Now, when I am president, every lawyer has to have this filter. I just love the scared cat, like, "Oh my god, I don't like, I am" the scared, terrified cat gets me every time. It looks like me when I'm trying to figure out what the hell I did to the stream. Like, "Oh crap, what button the hell did I push?"
You might want to take
We're trying to, can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to the
I don't know how I forgot that. Now, I have never look, I have always told people that we do not negotiate with terrorists or toddlers, but this child might be the most intelligent, smart, full of wisdom child I have ever met. So, I say if your toddler says, "Let's go eat Mexican," she might have a point. Also, can I just can I just be upset for a minute? Now, I had 3 beautiful, lovely little girls that were tender-headed. So they had beautiful, lovely hair, like 900 pounds of it that they didn't want me to brush. And forget about keeping a ponytail in because that hurt their head. So I constantly looked like I had the Weasley children behind me, the Bupkis children, from the Christmas Story.
I'm not hungry.
Yes, you is.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you is.
No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm. You know, Mexicans, it did something.
I don't want Mexican.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You want to stay in here?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want nothing?
No,
Say yeah.
I don't want nothing.
No, say yes.
I don't want nothing.
No, say yes.
Okay, yes.
Okay, good.
Where are we going?
See Mexican.
I'm not hungry.
I mean, what world can't we solve problems if we sit down and attack a chip and salsa like a bunch of hyenas? I always feel, y'all, I feel a touch of embarrassment when my family goes into the Mexican restaurant, and you'd have thought that I haven't fed these children in years. That like I fed them like a Cheerio in the morning, that they haven't seen food because we attack it again like the one wounded antelope. You guys, we're not a pack of hyena. They will have more chips and salsa. It's like, "Arr." Like, I always feel I'm like, and that is why I have to order a margarita because of the embarrassment. And then I do not know what to make of this title, and I'm kind of a scotch terrified. So I figured you guys would watch with me. Now, fair point that my dyslexia read this as critter. So it still doesn't make sense as fitter critter either. But I'm not as terrified after I realized to slow down and actually read, and it didn't say fritter. I'm still perplexed.
Well, hi. I'd like to begin by asking you to join me in prayer.
You know, I'm actually more terrified than I was when she was wearing the squirrel helmet thing. What in the Tammy Faye Baker is going on here?
We are praying that all those noisy planes just fall out of the sky. There. Did you bring your snakes? Because you may recall today is the day we are throwing out our snakes. That's right. On the count of 3. 1, 2. Oh, that's after ascertain.
Now, not that my church regularly asks you to bring snakes in or everything, but I feel like I need to say on behalf of Appalachia, not all of us are Pentecostal or snake handlers. I feel like I've been stereotyped here. Now, we will take down a bucket of fried chicken. Don't get us wrong.
And that the surroundings are habitat appropriate, of course. And 3. Oh, there they go. Off you go, little serpents. Bye. Bye-bye.
Is that how he got out to go tell Eve to eat an apple? I have a feeling she might have been there and there might have been a whole other book we didn't get to hear about. What in the... Those eyebrows are so sinister. Oh, ma'am. Again, kindly, as a representative of Appalachia, just don't do this anymore. I love it when you do everything else. This is just terrifying.
Oh, I'm gonna miss them, but it was the right thing to do. Because proving you're righteous by handling poisonous serpents is just nuts. So, it's time to ratchet up this faith game. Take it.
Ma'am, with those eyebrows and you want to tell us about what's nuts and you're purposely filming yourself as though you have a light shooting out of the crown of your head. I'm just saying. Perhaps glass houses, stones, pot, kettle. Maybe we can find common ground.
To the next level. Are you ready for a fitter critter? I bet you are. It says, right here in this sacred text. I have the place marked right off. It says, "Those who believe shall pick up and handle possums." No, possums. "And shall not be hurt."
Quick, y'all. Someone look at Revelation. Was she at all mentioned? I don't remember, but I have a feeling that possums were maybe alluded to. Quick, ask the LDS. Was look, they've got the sequel edition to the, Bible. So seriously, was she mentioned in any of the books of Nephi? Cuz yeah. Also, you're stealing my bit. I'm only sad because I'm pretty sure I have that cardigan. That's not a lie, too. I love sage green.
At least I think that's what it says. The print in this sacred text is so damn small. Well, let it be an act of faith. That was just a little bit of evangelical humor. But we take our so serious. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking,
I'm thinking if like there was like this is a no-win fear factor hostage situation and I'm told, okay, you are not getting out you are not getting out of this holy roller situation unless you handle a possum or a snake. I am looking for the smallest fucking snake. I am gripping it as tight as I can. And I am doing whatever counts as dropping it tepid for the 5 seconds I have to get the hell out of there. I mean, this is like Sophie's choice for Mo. Like it's like that meme where you push the button and you're sweating and it's like possum, snake, possum, snake. The possum is like, I'm Jewish, ma'am. Goes against everything. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. We don't believe in this crap.
Sister Otterbeil, could it bite me? Well, yes. Otherwise, it wouldn't be much of a testament of faith, now would it? Oh, now I hear you. But Sister Otterbeil, you're thinking, could I die? Well,
The possum is wondering about its mortality right now. The possum is very aware that it could die at any second.
oh, but that would be a sure sign that spirit don't like you. And isn't it better to know? So, if you feel the spirit stir.
Also, ma'am, just again, I am the world's worst Christian, but I would like to speak on behalf of like the normalish Christians who are just trying to like human a scotch better and work on themselves and not, not it's more of an internal journey than a show you journey. I would like to say on behalf of all of us that we kind of think the snake thing is weird too. I mean, if that's the way your journey is, we don't look, we point and laugh too, but we're okay with it. Like we don't, but it's kind of like that weird homeschool kid that sometimes comes to your school. Like technically they're with us, but in the Mean Girls fashion, they don't go here. So there you go. Just thought I'd put that out there.
And within you, you pick up a possum. You pick up a possum. Those.
Ma'am, this is the perfect outfit to say it, and I've been waiting for you to say it. If I have to cameo you to say it, no more wire hangers.
Who be afeared to pick up a possum? Well, shame on them. You pick up a possum and
Can you imagine being her next door neighbor? Like it's much, I am sure, like the experience of being my next door neighbor when I constantly come out in different wigs. But can you imagine you're just out there letting, like your Chewini out to use the restroom, and all of a sudden you look over and she's holding a possum talking in Southern Baptist, and you're like, this gummy is kicking in way too hard.
And you handle it. Noogie, noogie, noogie. Oh, you handle it. You handle it all over.
I have so many questions, and I just I feel like PETA would have so much to say about this. And does the possum need an adult? I feel like the possum needs therapy. I feel like the possum needs that breakout confessional in Sister Wives and every other train wreck reality television, where he's just like, look, I've been telling her no all the time. I don't know. I want to leave this relationship. It's like Mary Kay Letourneau and her boyfriend slash victim slash husband slash victim.
It's even better with a tambourine. Let's see it. Oh, here is a tambourine. Because tambourine music is...
Jesus, the possum is terrified, and I'm terrified. I didn't consent to you get your crazy ass getting a tambourine. You are not part of Leonard Skinnerd. I don't know who said that. Who the hell said you could get a tambourine? At this point, the possum would have been okay if it had in fact said fritter critter. Like, he is actively hoping to be made into a dessert at this point.
the possum's favorite after Dixieland. So, my sisters and brothers in the faith, let's all just keep dancing and prancing and prancing.
I ma'am, I really, really hope you had a really special brownie, because while I have some weird ideas that people do question my sobriety, what in there are just no words. God, I hope you are on Quaaludes, is all I got to say about that. I can't even finish the video. Just at least the Dylan one made more sense to me, honestly. Well, you guys, at 10 a.m., we will be starting with closing statements in the Paul Canero trial. Now, again, according to the judge, it seemed like he seemed to think that it was going to take a while into maybe the early afternoon to get through the instructions and both statements. Now, I don't know that he gave a time limit. I'm going to try to look through that because there was some things that we skipped through. Again, I don't know what the last two witnesses, the daughters, did for Paul. If anything, I think their flat affect and their almost blasé attitude was not great. But the defense has been utterly befuddling this entire time. They didn't call Corey. Now, we do know that Paul is not going to testify, but we are going to start a little later so that we do get to skip a little bit of the charging instructions and all that. And then we will be on jury watch. Now, I am of two minds, and I think both are very likely. So I don't know which is more probable. I do think there is a very high probability that when they first sit down to start deliberations, if they do like a just initial poll, I don't think that they're going to have any holdout that's going to say not guilty. I think that the state did an incredible job. It will be interesting to see the male state attorney and how he does a closing, because I think the female state attorney's opening statements were extremely good. So I will be anxious, and he's a pacer. So I do hope that the court feed has accounted for his pacingness in the audio, because he is the one where the audio seems to kind of lag behind where he's decided to pace around. Or a lapel mic. I know, it'd be crazy. And I do think that the defense is going to be in equal parts infuriating and entertaining in its insanity, but it will be interesting. I do want to see all that. And then depending on how long that takes, and it is a Wednesday, so we will stop at 2 and start again at 3 if they're still not done. And then depending on where we are when all of that ends, we will either start day 1 in the Faust trial today or tomorrow, depending on how it goes. So that's the plan for today. So hope to see you guys there, and buckle in because it's going to be interesting. Definitely interesting. I think that the state has done a pretty good job and a very respectful job this entire trial. And I think they've rolled with some of the maybe more underhanded and creative ways that the defense has tried to get certain things in. And I think that they've rolled with it, and because they have a good case, they really don't have a whole lot to make up for or have to do to stick the landing on this. The defense just has to not honestly fall down at this point. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if the dressing down yesterday, if she is at all subdued, or if it's going to be a lot of wild speculation. I'm expecting the latter, and no accountability or possibility that, maybe she had any part in getting her behind chewed out. But I do have you guys going over there. So I will see you in an hour, and we will get ready for this crazy, well, closing statements. Bye, you guys.